Welcome to coverage of GP Orlando. I'm Marshall Sutcliffe in the booth with Paul Cheon, and it's time for the finals. And bang, they are underway. Joel Larsson from Sweden. He's playing against Noah Walker, and we're going to walk away with a trophy in one of these two gentlemen's hands. We are yet to find out who. Both are playing blue, Paul, though, as you can see, one of them's paired it with black and the other with white.
Yeah, so Noah Walker is essentially mono-white. He's playing 5 blue cards in his entire deck. And if you recall just from the draft, white was incredibly open. You were seeing like 7th or 8th pick caught in the brights. I think Noah basically might have tabled one of them. The SRAM's expertise in the draft was also kind of going around the table. And Noah just, realized white was open and just ended up getting a ton of the great white cards. And if you see, no red decks in the finals. You have a blue-white deck and a blue-black deck. If you follow Joel's draft, he stayed very, very open throughout the draft and was able to determine that blue was the open color. And that's why he ended up with a good deck. There were so many people fighting over red, and they just ended up knocking each other out.
Good start here from Larsson. He starts things off with a Skyship Plunderer and an Augmenting Automaton, though 9th Bridge Patrol. It's on blocking duty. Not going to do a great job here.
Yeah, not a great start out of Noah. Well, I suppose he did have the Glintsleeve Artisan on turn 3, but that got rebuked. Noah probably has something here with the block.
He does. He's going to just use Ether Meltdown here to prevent at least some of this. Oh, here's a Metallic Rebuke for Larsson. Does he want to use it here? And he's really giving away that he has it in his hand, or at least trying to make Noah think that he knows.
He does have a second copy. Not often you see that. And
he was concerned about it. One of the things that we have in the top 8 is you actually get to see the lists, the card pools from the other players. You don't get to see their deck list, but knowing that your opponent has 1 or 2 rebukes is a lot different than not knowing if they have any.
And you'll just, can't turn down the 2-for-1 there.
That's right. So Joel has to kind of pump the brakes here a little bit. The Sky Swirl Harrier, it does hold back any attacks for the turn, but Bastion Inventor is going to come down and threaten to start beating down itself.
Yeah. Both of these players playing at an insanely fast rate. We can barely keep up with the cards that they're playing. So taking a look at Noah's list here, he's got 2 copies of Caught in the Brights and a Thopter Rest in his deck, so decent removal. Some of the blue cards, some of the highlights in the blue card, he has a Spire Patrol, probably one of the reasons why he's opting to play blue. And he picked up a Glimmer of Genius and an Ether Meltdown out of the last pack, but almost mono-white. The Specialist also nice with the double Caught in the Brights in Noah's deck. So Joel can opt to attack with the Bastion Inventor. Noah can choose to double block, but Joel also has access to a ton of mana here. And given that he's using... Wait, is this... so this is...
He must have double blocked. Noah Walker had to verbalize, say, I block with both.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that Joel does that pre-block. So he does, in fact, extract himself a nice little 2-for-1 there. Even gets the card draw extra off of the... Leave in the Dust. That worked out quite well for Larsson.
Yeah, Joel has a commanding board presence here, and on top of that, he actually has a couple of mana 6 in play as well. He's got the Automaton, which can potentially be a 3/3, and he has 7 mana on the battlefield to, make additional copies of either the Cogworks or the Automaton. Although copying an Automaton's not.
It's really pretty unexciting, but yeah. Well, looks like Noah Walker's ran out of gas a bit here. All he could muster for the turn
is a conviction on a Specialist. Yeah. But that's only a 3/4. So the Bastion Inventor still gets attack, and Joel follows that up with a full-priced Winkin Raiders.
This one looking very good for Joel Larsson, and this could be a quick one, kiddos. Don't go anywhere. Yeah. It's not dinner time right now. It's time to watch Magic because Joel Larsson is on the attack, slamming in for 8 damage and forcing a chump block here. Does Noah have anything he can get back right now?
Don't see an artifact or... Oh, there is an aura. There actually is.
You can get an enchantment. Yep. And
that actually wasn't that bad.
Lincoln Raiders. Yeah, that worked out pretty well there.
Yeah.
So Noah takes 0. But unfortunately for him, a Garruk per Osprey, and a Conviction. Okay.
All right, so now we're looking at a 3/5 flyer. Oh, okay. Joel choosing to end of turn, copy the Cogwork assembler itself. And then on this turn, he can also choose to make an additional copy just to kind of force through some damage. The Bastion Inventor can also attack because if Noah chooses to block the Bastion Inventor, they'll basically just bounce off of each other. If Joel draws another swamp, that doesn't do a whole lot because the biggest he can make the automaton is a 4/4, but it will still force through a decent amount of damage. Looks like it might be a swamp, actually. Oh, no, it's an island. Okay. So Joel does have a Skyship Plunderer as well in hand, and kind of just deciding, does he want to make another copy of a 2/3 hasting artifact creature here, or does he want to just kind of try to develop his board a little bit more and play the Plunderer?
That thing gets exiled, Noah reminds him, and down to 8 goes Noah Walker, but the Bastion Inventor just bounces off of the Gyrup Osprey, and Noah is kind of hanging on for dear life after having drawn quite a few lands.
Right. But the Osprey plus the Conviction is doing a pretty good job on defense here.
Uh-oh, what is this?
Countless Gears Renegade, maybe? Oh, okay.
He just wants to draw a card, it looks like.
He wants to draw a card, but also, of course, keep the Conviction.
Yep, Acrobatic Maneuver. And if the best thing he can do is just replay Conviction, not great.
Although it is interesting that Noah opted not to attack with the Osprey, given that he was going to do all of this, because when you use the maneuver, it would come back onto the battlefield untapped.
Yeah, he could have gotten in for 3 damage there. Clearly, Noah in a defensive mindset.
Right, right. He's just kind of been behind the whole game. So,
and once again, Joel is just sort of content to take this chipping away line here with just for 2. There's a Skyship Plunderer, but yeah, Noah, you might want to knock the top of that deck because you need some action and you need it quickly.
And land was actually not even a terrible draw for Joel because that allowed him to deploy the Plunderer. He now has 7 mana to activate the Assembler, or sorry, the Assistant. Or is it the Assembler?
The Assembler, Assembler.
He gets to use the Assembler end of turn, and then on his turn again, he can make another copy, and that might actually just be lethal if Noah doesn't draw an answer.
There's a Thriving Ibex for Noah Walker.
Okay.
Yeah, we talk about mana sinks in this format. There's not that many of them, but Cogwork Assembler is one.
Yeah, Joel Larsson can attack with 6 creatures this turn and potentially pump the Automaton. So that's 5 creatures with 2 power along with the Bastion Inventor. Noah Walker has 2 blockers, so that is lethal.
It is lethal. And, I got to say, if I'm sitting in Joel's seat, I have to figure that Noah is just out of gas here. Now, is there any reason why Joel wouldn't just move in here? I mean, it is a fairly risky play. He's going to lose a couple of creatures.
Right. Well, Noah does have 2 cards in hand. He does have 4 mana up. Joel could be maybe concerned about a Leave in the Dust or something like that.
Yeah.
Because that could be pretty bad. Because then Noah could eat both the Plunderer and either the Automaton or the Assembler. And then Joel will basically just be left with the Bastion Inventor.
Joel's going to make another copy.
Yeah,
and now he's going to swing all in. Is this going to be good enough to take down game 1? Noah Walker reviews his hand. Wow, he really did flood out there. Shows him 2 lands, takes a peek at the top 2, but it's not good enough there. Joel Larsson takes game 1 from Noah Walker, and he is 1 game away from our champion. We're going to have game 2 right after these messages.
Then mana sinks though. He took that Assembler.
Orlando. Players are reviewing deck pools here, but we are just about ready to go. Paul, you told me that you were standing behind Chris Bakula. We were kind of watching him for the duration of the tournament. He said something kind of funny when you were watching.
Yeah. So after he lost in the semifinals to Joel Larsson, I kind of went up to him and I was like, all right, well, this was a nice run. Good job. Condolences for the loss. And he's just like, well, you live by the frontline rebel, you die by the frontline rebel. And I was just like, yeah, well, there's a reason why some people are not a big fan of that card.
Yeah.
And he's just like, no, this is actually, I've done so many drafts. This is only the 4th time maybe that he's suicided the frontline rebel, which isn't really that bad considering how many times he's likely played this card in his decks. But yeah, a real drawback.
That's really funny.
Yeah,
at least he owns it.
Right.
All right, play just about underway here. Looks like some pretty heavy sideboarding happening from Larsson there. You can see he's sleeving up perhaps maybe even different lands.
I think, Noah Walker's only splashing
No, they're just different spells. Sorry, go ahead.
Noah Walker's only playing 4 or 5 blue spells in his entire deck. I think it might be possible that Joel was just the only blue drafter at the table.
Oh, okay.
So I think he has a lot of different playable cards in his sideboard that he can opt to try out. And it looks like he actually boarded out the Metallic Rebukes. I think Noah getting rebuked twice in the late stages of the game might be mindful of that card and try to play around it. So Joel figures maybe he wants to bring in some action cards instead. Joel did have a copy of Hinterland Drake in the sideboard, which is an excellent card against the blue-white decks because they do rely a lot on 3-mana 2/2 flyers like Windrake and the Gearport Osprey. It looks like Joel's a little bit short on cheap artifacts. He has a lot. He picked up a ton of cards in the last pack that kind of want you to have artifacts on the battlefield. So he has a couple of Dund Operatives along with the Emerald Brawler, but again, not a lot of cheap artifacts in his deck. He did have a couple of opportunities to take them, which I think ultimately would have ended up Joel being happier about his deck because he picked up a Gear Seeker, but he really needed artifacts. And there was an Implement that he passed up on along with a Prophetic Prism. But still good enough. Blue was wide open, up a game, just 1 game away from winning this entire Grand Prix.
Joel Larsson, the far more experienced high-level player than Walker, but Walker's no slouch. This is his 3rd GP top 8.
Yeah, I was talking about it earlier. I was like, is this his second? Because I know for sure that he had 1, but yes, This is his 2nd limited top 8, and he also has a top 8 in Legacy.
Very nice.
And he's kind of well known in kind of the Star City bracket where he is kind of known as the Grixis Delver Master. And yet still showing that he has limited chops as well.
Yeah, 2 limited top 8s. Impressive stuff from Noah Walker. Kind of on the way up in his career.
Definitely.
Joel Larsson, though, has really established himself as one of the top pros in the game for a while now. Years now. He's not, I still think of him as a relative newcomer, but he's really not. He's been at the top of the game for 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah, just consistently considered one of the best players in the world.
That's right. He plays for Team Channel Fireball Ice, which is one of the better teams out there as well. Noah Walker's on Team Card Hoarder.
What do you think the Metallic Mimic named?
I don't know.
Dwarf?
Yeah, it looks like it.
I guess it could be Soldier too,
It could be
right?
Soldier. Could be.
Joel does need to follow this up, put some kind of threat on the board here. Does have a Pillar Bug here, which would be able to brick wall both of the creatures that are on the battlefield right now. Although Joel does have to be mindful, Noah Walker is actually playing 2 copies of Acrobatic Maneuver in his deck. So if Noah opts to attack with the ninth Bridge Patrol, Noah can just use the maneuver, like so.
You were all over this one, Paul.
Right, to put an extra counter on the 9th Bridge Patrol. Now he can even reset it for whatever other creature he might play.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if he's going to change it. He's pointing at it, which says to me he's going to name something different. I mean, he just has to look at his hand. What's the next creature you're going to play, Noah?
Yeah, exactly. It's not all that hard. It's not a hard card to play with. So yeah, there could have been some consideration there to just block the Metallic Mimic because of that. Because I don't think Noah had a lot of combat tricks outside of the acrobatic maneuvers.
Here's a Dune Operative now for Joel. He does have that Implement of Malice sitting there.
Yeah, it's going to kind of likely keep the 9th Bridge Patrol at bay, but Noah can play whatever creature he named. Oh, never mind.
How about this? Attack you for 5. Joel Larsson all of a sudden finds himself on the back heels here, and he's going to need to stabilize this board. He finds a second black mana source.
Ooh, wow.
Uh-oh.
That is a battle at the bridge, though.
It is indeed. He's not going to play it this turn. He's going to go for Malphis Squad, but we know that racing Joel Larsson from this point is going to be difficult thanks to that battle at the bridge.
Yeah, this isn't bad because you can still just kind of wait. The you are producing a servo, which does basically allow you to gain an additional life here, and
looks like he may have named Artificer or something. Anyway, whatever. He's got a Windkin Raiders, and it's in the air with a counter, so that's huge.
If I were to guess, this battle at the bridge might be cast this turn.
You know, now that Noah Walker's completely tapped out.
Right. My professional opinion here.
Yeah, that's what we brought you in for.
Oh,
Paul.
yeah.
I like your read.
And Joel is also opting not to tap the servo here because the 9th Bridge Patrol is now going to become a 4/4. So Joel wants to have the option of being able to double block the 9th Bridge Patrol.
Joel back up to 18 life after he passes the turn back. 9th Bridge Patrol kind of getting a little out of hand here. At least annoying.
Yeah. And of course, the servo can also block the Metallic Mimic.
Right. Yeah, that that servo being untapped, pretty important here.
Yeah.
Glint Sleeve Artisan.
Wow, this is like the best Metallic Mimic I've ever seen.
It is to me, yeah. he named Artificer, and it's put 3 counters down.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
He's got 2 4/4s on the battlefield.
Mm-hmm. He is going to pass here, though. Let's get one of those cards out of your hand, says Joel Larsson. But, of course, Noah Walker, having anticipated that, perhaps has left 1 Plains in hand for discarding purposes.
Yeah, Joel's got a lot of work to do. Needs to play a big creature here to be able to kind of rumble with the 2 4/4s that are on the battlefield. I think Noah's very likely to attack with both of the creatures on the following turn, or at least the Glint Sleeve Artisan.
There's a Hinterland Drake from Joel Larsson.
Yeah, so no matter how Joel lines up these blocks, if he wants to get the Artisan, he will lose 2 creatures. You know, one of them is likely going to be the servo. If Joel chooses to block, he's probably going to be blocking with the Malphis Squad plus the servo token, which will now grow the 9th Bridge Patrol to a 5/5.
Yeah, Joel's going to need to find one of his removal spells. He's got a pair of Daring Demolition in the deck.
Yeah, and he could also have some bounce spells.
Yeah, which do really good work against 9th Bridge Patrol. Wow, this is a nice play from Noah Walker, too. He's got a Glimmer of Genius, just to keep things moving forward for him. 1 on top, 1 on bottom.
Yeah. Although this does allow Joel to kind of reestablish his board.
Yeah.
Noah's not punishing Joel by dropping another large flyer, for example.
There it is, Daring Demolition right off the top.
No, it doesn't have a whole lot.
No, I mean, he did just draw a couple of cards, so he should be in good shape. All right, he didn't even use it either. He actually had Leave in the Dust, so he can keep that Daring Demolition in hand.
Wow.
And, get a much better effect there, because resetting that 9th Bridge Patrol is almost as good as killing it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And
now he's got a hard removal spell for something big.
And Joel did opt to attack with the Hinterland Drake because it cannot block the Metallic Mimic.
Yeah, smart play by Joel, just keeping up on that details. There's the 9th Bridge Patrol, and it's also a Shipwreck Moray.
I'm assuming Joel is likely going to be attacking here. Yeah, it looks like he brought in the extra Hinterland Drake. He does have a Dund Operative, but no artifacts in play currently. Oh.
Couple of plays here for Joel Larsson. He's got a Janjeet Sentry and another Hinterland Drake.
Yeah, he was when he had a couple of opportunities to take that card, and
which one?
The Janjeet Sentry. The first time he passed on it, but he really thought about it for a while, and I think that was in large part due to the fact that he had double Skyship Plunderer, and that is kind of a way to kind of produce extra energy, so you can get a few more activations out of it.
Yeah, I was teasing Joel earlier. I said the first time that thing's actually tapped something down twice could be today. Shipwreck Moray is going to get feisty here. It looks like he's going to take 4 damage off of it.
What else does Noah have? What did he find off this Glimmer of Genius?
Yeah, this is a big turn for Noah.
Okay.
Well, he didn't find 1 great spell, but he did find 2 spells, and that's about as good.
Yeah.
So he's going to take out one of the flyers and then produce a flyer of his own.
Osprey looking pretty poor in the face of those Hinterland Drakes.
Or Drake.
Or I guess
it
it is now the Drake.
Yeah, it looks really bad against it. Can't block it or attack into it, so Joel Larsson's going to chip away, put Noah down to 14, and absolutely empty his hand on the battlefield here. He's going to play Augmenting Automaton, Doomed Operative. And by the way, that Augmenting Automaton was free because of the
totally
Foundry
free
Assembler. Inspector, excuse me.
Oh, that was a big turn from Joel, and looks like Joel is looking to race here. I think Noah Walker forgot the fact that he can untap.
Well, this kind of forces the issue.
Right.
He either didn't mind doing this or he forgot. Either way, he needs to, recoup that loss. So he's going to go ahead and use his Ether Meltdown.
Noah does kind of have the ground locked up because he has the Moray, and I don't think Joel is really interested in trading the Operative with the Metallic Mimic, which Noah's already gotten a ton of value out of.
Mm-hmm.
So if Joel wants to attack, it's likely going to be with the flyers, but now he has no flyers. So looks like we're kind of in a stall here.
Yeah, I like how Joel's played this game. He left himself with a threat and a Daring Demolition, but the threat has been neutralized and doesn't really have a lot going on at this point as far as attacks go.
Yeah, he can choose to be real aggressive here and maybe just get the Moray out of the way so that he can just kind of attack with all of his creatures. It would make the Ninth Bridge Patrol into a 2/2, but then at least, there would be some trades happening.
Mm-hmm.
So Joel opting to kind of go for the long game here instead. And now I think Noah can start chipping away with that flyer. Oh. And one thing Noah should consider here is that conviction resolved. Joel Larsson had access to 7 mana, so it tells him that Joel does not have an instant speed way to deal with the Osprey. So if he really wanted to, he could have bounced the conviction and put it on one of his ground creatures.
Yeah, he could feel pretty safe about that.
Right.
Well, there is one way to get rid of a little mana flood here, and that's attack with your 1/1.
Yeah,
and
he
look
does.
at Noah. He's like, man, that thing can get big.
Yeah, Joel has access to 8 mana and 4 swamps, so you can turn that into a 5/5.
And you can see Joel kind of getting ready for that exact action.
And Noah actually doesn't really have a great block here. That Moray was able to kind of keep the Automaton at bay when it was able to be a 4/4, but I think Noah's basically just saying, look, if you want to spend your entire turn to deal some damage, go ahead.
And it looks like Joel says, all right, well, this Osprey is going to be annoying enough, so I'm going to go ahead and kill it.
Yeah, it was representing a 3-turn clock.
Yeah, and now it's
And Joel's at
0.
9, right. But it is... And it's still hard for Noah to attack with a conviction on a ground creature because there is that Doomed Operative on the battlefield.
Yeah.
Yeah, so currently, as it stands, I think I kind of like Joel Larsson's side. I think his plan is likely going to be just keep attacking with that Automaton until it trades with the creature. And Noah just looking to find some flyers. He's blue-white, so he's got a lot of those in his deck. Okay.
Metallic Mimic's going to get in there for 3 and kind of ask Joel, hey,
Do you want
to trade?
Yeah, you want to trade with that Doomed Operative?
Now, he also could put the... no, I guess that is the only block that he reasonably has, isn't it? I guess he could chump block.
He could double block with the Janjit Sentry and the Foundry Inspector.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. I knew there was something in there.
Yeah, so Noah's just going to bounce it and
trades
just
off
trade
for the Foundry Inspector. Yeah, okay.
Because I think...
Ooh, airdrop aeronauts to gain Noah.
And I think
5
Noah
and put up
forgot
a
to
threat.
actually put a counter on his Ninth Bridge Patrol.
Yep,
Yeah.
you're right. He totally did.
But he has a giant flyer.
He
it's
does.
a 2-turn clock with the conviction.
And now Joel is just going to keep trying to bash, but this is not a great way to do it.
But he found something.
Oh, he found his other copy of Daring Demolition off the top. No, it does remember its Ninth Bridge Patrol this time. We'll see if that comes back to bite him at all.
Wow. That was a very clutch top deck.
It seriously was.
All right, well, Noah's just going to be looking to race here.
Yep, Shipwreck Mori is going to get in there. Remember, though, this is what I was just going to say, is that Hinterland Drake can block still.
Yeah.
And
All Noah has to do is just use one energy to get rid of that Drake.
Yep.
We are firmly in a racing situation here. Now, I wonder how important not having that +1/+1 counter on the 9th Bridge Patrol is going to end up being here.
It could be very important.
Yeah.
Joel Larsson, by the way, doesn't have any energy. That 5 energy is Noah Walker's.
So Noah Walker currently has a 4/6. Is that correct? 4/6 9th Bridge Patrol.
2, 2, 3, 3, 4. Yeah.
Yeah, 4/6. So actually, Joel actually cannot attack with the automaton until he finds 2 more lands.
Wow.
And that wouldn't have even been an out had there been an additional counter on the 9th Bridge Patrol.
I wonder how good the automaton is on blocks here, though. It looks not bad at all, right?
Right.
We had a virtual stall out.
Exactly. If Yoel realizes he can no longer attack, Noah also cannot attack, as Yoel can just tap all of his mana to trade with the Moray.
Does it even trade? You mean like with a conviction on it, or?
Oh no, it would not. It would not be able to trade with a conviction on it.
But even then, it wouldn't be able to trade, right? It can become a 4/1, but can't his automaton become a 5/5?
So if he puts a conviction on it, it would turn it into a 1/8.
Yeah. So then he could.
Then he can make it into a 3/6.
Yeah. Oh, negate your conviction. Joel Larsson snaps it off.
Swapping the Metallic Rebuke for the hard counter for these long, grindy games.
Smart. And now the shields are down, though, for Joel because he can't pump his automaton enough. So he's just going to go ahead and block with the Janjeet Sentry and force Noah Walker to use up another couple of energy. And that would be a trade. If he doesn't use up the energy, then they can just bounce off and Noah doesn't get any damage in or anything.
Yeah. I don't even. I guess Noah's opting to just take the trade here. But now he doesn't have a conviction to put on his 9th Bridge Patrol.
No, this is getting a little all-in.
And not having the counter on the Patrol is now huge.
It really
because
is.
Joel can turn the automaton into a 5/5. And that 9th Bridge Patrol could have been a 5/5.
Unreal. The smallest little mistakes.
So small.
And Joel's just going to move in here
Did Joel also tap?
Did he tap incorrectly, or did he?
I'm guessing he's just going to play a plunder here. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you're correct.
Joel won't miss that.
Good read. Yeah, I was going to say there's no way he misses that. He had them laid out specifically. Oh, man, is this one slipping away from Noah Walker? If it is, Joel Larsson will be our champion. He's already up a game.
Yeah, some timely draws. That Daring Demolition was...
Oh, here we go. Spire Patrol from Noah Walker.
I like it. And now
right
Noah's
back
getting aggressive. 7 damage.
It is. Does Joel want to block?
He can choose to trade the Plunderer for the Audacious Infiltrator if he so chooses.
He can. He also, though, has a crackback that's lethal. Actually, no. The automaton's going to stay tapped, right?
Right.
So he can only attack for 5. So not
so
quite lethal.
There is just no lethal, yeah.
Oh, my God. This is
wow,
so
what
close.
a draw.
This is so
just
close.
Back and forth. This is insane. This is one of the best 9th Bridge Patrols I've ever seen.
Yeah, even though it should have another counter on
it. Noah just spotted him a counter. He doesn't need it.
Yep, and Joel decides he's going to block, and we really do have a top deck scenario here from both of our players.
So Joel is now down to 5 life.
Oh, he actually kept the Dune Operative tap down.
Oh, of course. When he cast it on his turn so that he could attack.
So that he could attack, but that meant that Joel did actually have a crackback for lethal.
No, he was... Oh, had he not blocked with the plunder.
Yeah.
Sure.
He would have taken 3 and been to 2, but
which would have forced a block by the Spire Patrol on the Plunderer.
Exactly. But in a more defensive stance here from Larsson, he gets to trade off on the ground, take 3 in the air, but now it's... Ooh. That's pretty good, too.
No,
this
Joel's
is a huge
top deck
Yeah,
here.
he didn't find anything. He found a land. So
we
are going to get a game 3. Wow, what a game.
Wow.
That was absurd.
So back and forth.
All right. Well, I don't need to tell you not to go anywhere, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back after these messages with game number 3. Orlando. Limited fans rejoice. We get one more game. Noah Walker versus Joel Larsson. I am Marshall Sutcliffe in the booth with Paul Cheon. And it is our great pleasure to bring you coverage of the finals here. Is it going to be Joel Larsson, the established pro, or the up-and-comer Noah Walker in his third GP top 8, looking to take home a trophy?
Yeah, well, and what a game that was, the last one. It was so swingy. It just back and forth, back and forth. Joel Larsson looked like he was in a really difficult situation and needed to draw a removal spell, and then drew the Daring Demolition. And then it looked like Noah was going to die. And then he top decked the perfect card, Spire Patrol. I don't think there was another card in his deck that could have saved him there.
Yeah, it was a perfect draw for Noah Walker. And he was able to ride that to victory and put himself in a position to be one game away from $10,000 and a trophy.
Yeah.
But he's got a tough opponent in Joel Larsson on the play here who is not going to make his life easy. And just to add to the challenge mode, Noah Walker's taking a mulligan.
It's like, I'll give you a +1/+1 counter and a card. We'll still see how this goes.
Never easy. Never easy.
Joel traveling to the States here for a nice long Grand Prix tour.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw his post. He's going to be here for a while. He's going to be in San Antonio next weekend.
And then Mexico City the week after.
Yeah.
I guess if you're going to come out all the way to kind of
You're going to travel
stateside,
continents, yeah.
Yeah. Might as well kind of hit up all the Grand Prix if you can, because it doesn't seem like it's great value just to travel from Europe to the States just for one Grand Prix.
Right.
Only a handful of true grinders can do that.
That's right. We do see people do it, though.
Yeah.
Valentin Mackel, he'll come by.
Yeah. Shuhei back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Martin Juza.
Martin Juza was kind of the
Yeah.
champion of that. Yeah. All right, we're underway here. Skyship Plunderer for Joel Larsson kicks things off. One of the better 2-drops he can start with.
Right.
Is this an Ether Swooper for Walker? No, it's a Metallic Mimic. He named something. We don't know what. But this means that the damage gets to start flowing from Larsson's side of the battlefield.
Joel has
here.
a Metallic Rebuke in hand. Is he just going to pass here?
No,
Nope.
he's going to keep the beats going here. Embrawl Bruiser is the card that he plays. Passes the turn back to Walker.
Really hope. I'm not really sure what the Mimic named, but
Yeah, I would guess Artificer or Dwarf. Those are the two that we kind of saw.
right. Yeah, Glensleeve Artisan here would be pretty great.
Oh, no.
Oh, no land.
I'm not going to lie. This is not the play that Noah Walker wanted here. And Joel starts to say, may I untap? And he says, yes. No land drop. This could be a quick one.
We had such a good game the last one, too.
We did. And here we go.
Wow.
Leave in the Dust gets rid of both cards. One back to hand, one into the graveyard. You take 5 damage.
Yeah.
And Walker is just running up against it, though.
Okay.
He's found a land now.
Okay.
He's going to play Metallic Mimic. That's still his best play for the turn, unfortunately, and pass back.
If Joel doesn't have an artifact, though, the Bruiser does not have Menace. Oh,
There's
but there it is.
So now it's 5 more damage that Noah just simply cannot block. And now he's going to leave up Metallic Rebuke.
Right.
So brutal.
Yeah, especially when
Because
you're
Noah
ahead on board.
has to do something. What, did he just pass the turn back?
Yeah, what does he have?
What in the world?
And I think that might be a second leave in the dust for Joel Larsson.
You're totally right. And you know what? He doesn't want to
Wow.
leave his mana in the dust. Oh, wow.
Okay.
Acrobatic maneuver.
Getting a little bit of value at least.
At least he got to use his mana up. That actually probably worked out well for Walker.
If Joel just plays a land this turn, he's representing lethal damage.
Well, it looks like he didn't have it, so it's going to have to be next turn, but we are potentially a turn away from a champion. How in the world is Noah going to come back from
just
this
way
start
too
from
much.
Larsson? It's way too much.
Yeah.
Noah Walker stumbled for 1 turn on mana, nods his head, counts up, but he did find his 4th land. What does he have? Spire Patrol.
That buys some time. That buys a little bit of time.
That means that Joel does not have lethal now,
He would go down to 1 if Joel chose to attack with all of his creatures.
but if Joel has anything,
Oh, and then the Metallic Mimic.
I think that
yeah.
they're maybe asking
If it's
if he's got the counter, if he gets the counter or not, because it was a little late perhaps, but
right.
he does. Larsson's trying to see, he drew a Malphus squad. Can he play it, leave up Rebuke,
Yeah,
and
still a
still
great
have good attacks?
Let's see. So let's see. Let's say Joel chooses to attack with everything here. The Spire Patrol will likely go in front of the actually has to go in front of the Winkin Raider.
It must go in front, and then the Mimic has to block the Augmenting Automaton.
And
as
Joel
well.
Larsson can pump the Automaton and also get in for 2 damage with the Plunder. But it looks like Joel has better things to do with his mana this turn. This does force the block. Noah does go down to 1 life.
Yes.
And Noah's mana screwed, and Joel has a Metallic Rebuke.
I know. This game is over. Yeah, there's
he's got a
nothing that Noah
counterspell.
Walker can do, and that's going to do it.
Wow.
Joel Larsson is your champion here at Grand Prix Orlando. Congratulations to Joel. We've seen him win tournaments before. Last time I saw him win one was the Pro Tour.
That's a pretty good one.
He's also got a 2nd place finish at the PT, and now he's also got 1st place here in GP Orlando. So congratulations to Joel Larsson. He does fancy himself a bit of a limited player, and he's got really good draft record, and it showed this weekend.
Oh, absolutely.
Congratulations to him. All right, so that is going to do it for finals. We're going to have an interview with Joel Larsson in just a minute. Here in Orlando. Fantastic stuff from our players. Joel Larsson really kind of put a smashing on him in that last game. Unfortunate for Noah Walker. Had to mulligan, missed a land drop, and Joel just had one of those draws.
Yeah. We saw some pretty good games in the first couple of games, but yeah, again in the last game, sometimes you just get to curve out and your opponent misses a land drop, and that is something that happens in both limited and constructed, and it's a little unfortunate, a little anticlimactic way to finish off the Grand Prix. But I do like the way Joel drafted in his seat. He recognized blue, not considered probably one of the 2 weakest colors in this format.
White and blue.
Yeah, white and blue. And despite that, we had a blue-white deck in the finals, along with Joel Larsson's, blue deck splashing some black removal spells. So it just proves that, being open, being flexible, and reading the signals is more important than just kind of sometimes forcing maybe what's widely considered to be the best color in the format.
Yeah, that's right. And it was really fun to watch that down the stretch. So it looks like we've got Joel Larsson. Why don't we bring him in here? I'm going to kick you out, Paul.
All right.
And we're going to bring Joel Larsson. So I can see he's got his trophy in his hand, too. So exciting stuff. Come on in, Joel.
Congratulations, man.
So go ahead and put this on.
We've been there before.
Hello again. Congratulations, Joel.
Thanks.
Great work. And, one of the last times I talked to you in this scenario, it was actually the Pro Tour that you'd won. Here, let's get this bad beast on the camera, too. That's nice.
Not bad.
Put that on your trophy wall. Congratulations, $10,000, and you are our champion. Do you consider yourself a limited specialist? I know you're like a limited guru, but, how do you view yourself?
I'm not sure about specialists. Before I usually only did well in limited, and that's kind of the only thing I played, like you.
Yeah, same thing like me. I know how that goes.
Yeah. And then like the tournament structure kind of changed. Less limited GPs, only once before each Pro Tour. I joined major testing teams, so I got better constructed decks. Got to play more constructed against better players. So I kind of, up my constructed game.
Kind of became more well-rounded as a player.
Definitely. So I've had better constructed results lately, but I can still play my limited.
He's a drafter at heart.
Yeah,
Don't listen to him.
That's for sure. It is true. I'm just saying that's what happened, and now I'm back.
I was telling him a story, about yesterday when you said, "Hey, do you want to see my deck?" And I'm like, "Sure." I see a sealed deck or whatever, and I'm like, "This is Modern Masters." You're like, "Yeah, I'm drafting Modern Masters too." And, you were running the tables at the sealed, and just this. I know how your brain works.
Definitely, yeah. Day one, I played a side draft between rounds.
Your deck was sweet too.
It was great.
Yeah,
four-color blink.
Yeah, I like that. It's pretty nice.
I love that.
Now, what about this deck that you just won the GP with? You had a blue-black deck with looked like a pretty high power level overall. What did you think about the deck?
I think it was great. I think the big thing to take out of it was that all the 2 drops were so premium. All of them.
Plunderers.
2 Plunderers, 2 Dundu Operative, and the Bruiser. Yeah, exactly. So that's a big thing that makes cards like Leave in the Dust and all, the removal so much better.
Get it out of the way.
Exactly, jam, and I had a ton of sideboard options, and I saw a late Plunder in game pack 1, and I just kind of went for it, and it all kind of came along.
Yeah.
Like in last pack, I had 3 cards that were premium to choose from almost every pack. So that was
pretty good.
Yeah, not bad. I'm a fan.
Now you're taking a little bit of a Magic tour here, are you? Now this is just your first stop.
Yeah, starting off well.
So not a bad start to your trip. What's coming up next for you?
All right, so I'm gonna play in San Antonio, the Team Honda GP with Shuhei Nakamura and Martin Yusa. So that's gonna be great.
Nice team. That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, I'm a fan there too.
Uh-huh.
Then I'm gonna play with Corey Baumeister and Haoshan in Mexico City.
Okay.
Corey also recently won a
Yeah.
Grand Prix. That's pretty great.
You
so-
did. You guys should
so
bring
we're
your
gonna-
trophies and
Yeah,
ask
yeah,
Haoshan,
yeah.
hey, where's yours, man?
Yeah, come on, man. I mean, he might win in San Antonio.
That's true. I mean, not
He
if
has
you have
one-
anything
yeah,
to
one
say
more
about
shot.
it,
Yeah,
but
that's-
yeah.
That's true. I mean,
He
that's-
could, though.
Yeah, that's true.
And then what's after Mexico City for you? Back home? Or?
Yeah, I'm going back home after that. I'm gonna be home for a little while through April, I think. Then it's gonna be hitting the road again. Might even come back to Vegas later on with the super weekend. That's gonna be pretty cool.
Very
so
nice.
yeah,
Cool, man. Well, congratulations, Joel, once again.
Thanks
You
a lot.
are our champion here in Orlando, a worthy champion indeed. He can go home and put this on the trophy wall along with a nice big pile of money. Well, that is going to do it for us here from Orlando. So for LSV, for Paul Cian, of course, for everybody here that helps make these tournaments happen, that's the crew, Star City Games who put this on, as well as the judge staff. I mean, these things just don't fly without the helpful people that make these tournaments possible. We want to say thank you to them. But most of all, of course, you. We want to thank you for watching and for spending some time with us. We really do appreciate it. Again, he mentioned it. Next weekend is GP San Antonio. That's Team Unified Modern. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll see you then.